So when we think about public speaking and the art of public speaking, I don't know where the art of public speaking came in, but some way, somehow I got to get myself away from that. Because if you Google the art of public speaking, there's like 5 million pages of the art of public speaking. So for SEO, it's not really the greatest thing in the whole world. So really, what is it about public speaking? Why are people afraid of speaking? And if you are afraid of speaking in public, let's discuss it. Let's talk about what this is going to be is an open forum. The way I like to do it is we'll teach a little bit, but if you have something that's going on that you want to work on, that you know that's holding you back from where you need to be, tell me so we can work it out together. So think about it that way. That's all you have to do when it comes to public speaking. So you guys ready? All right, so how many of you here today are in sales? All right, here's how it works. Everyone should have their hand up. Everyone. And why the art of public speaking comes in handy with sales is the first thing we have to sell is ourselves. So how do we get to become articulate and actually speak to where people know what's going on and they can connect with us? So we're all in sales, no matter how you look at it, no matter if you're going for a job, whatever it might be, an interview, you have to sell yourself. So the art of public speaking comes in very well with that and going out and selling yourself to people. People, what do you have to get to know you, they have to get to like you, they have to get to trust you. So this is how we do it. We threw it through the art of public speaking. You came here today. Hopefully you had some sort of expectation, some outcome you were looking for today. You're taking up 2 hours of your life. So what I want to know from you is while I'm here today, there isn't a question you can't ask. There's a good chance that I'll have the answer for it. I've been in front of 6,000 audiences, so I have to tell you, I've probably seen just about everything you could possibly see. So feel free, ask any questions, thoughts about your talks. If you have a talk coming up, now's the time to come and practice it. If you got a pitch coming up or you got to go meet somebody, now's the time to practice it. We're amongst friends, we're going to let it go, and we're going to get better at public speaking today. Well, there's one thing about public speaking that everyone must know, and you really must learn. You must have a strong rapport with your audience. You must have a strong rapport with the audience. And you know why? They must like you. When people want to deal with you, the first thing they want to do is they need to like you. So that's what we said. The first part about selling is, the first part is getting people to know you, like you, trust you. So this is one of the ways you can actually get people to like you. You get out there, speak to them, talk to them, tell them what's going on in your business. Your business is very, very important to you. So this is how you can relay your business to the rest of the world. Think about this, the more people, if you tell everybody within 3 feet of you what you do, your business sales are going to go up and up and up and up. So if you can get your message out clearly, and another way is doing this, we're talking about public speaking. We all go to networking events. We've all sat next to people. I remember I was sitting next to a young kid. When I'm talking to him, we were having conversation with coffee. He was so excited about what he was and what he did, and he was dressed to the nines, and he was in the insurance business. He was so excited. He was telling me he could have went on for 20 minutes. He came to go to his 2-minute pitch. After 30 seconds, he was done. He just froze up. Something changed. Something snapped in his head. Shut him right down. Shut him off. He didn't know where to go. Now, all of a sudden, he was talking to me over a cup of coffee. Everything was flowing. Sat down at a table in a formal environment, and he just shut down. And we've seen it. We've seen people who can only get out so much. So let's think about what we do with public speaking. The best ways you can build rapport with an audience, and that's what you're doing. You're getting people to like you. This is a 5-point process. 5 points. The best way you can build a rapport with the audience. Number 1, the effective use of nonverbal skills. Proper use of verbal skills, we all know what that is. Proper use of humor. So really, when you think about it, your jokes have to be appropriate. We're going to talk about humor as we go along, and the powerful part it has of any presentation. That's a great way to get people to like you. At least that's to a point until you become annoying. So audience involvement and interaction, very important. So this is number 4 of 5, getting people to interact with you. Because now you got an ongoing flow going. Hey, what's going on with you? How can I help you? What's here? What's here? See, if Chip says something that's important to him, and there's someone sitting across the table who really didn't want to say it, but I could answer it for Chip, and it corresponds with what they're thinking, it's a home run. So when you start getting interactive with the audience, you get people to start saying things. It makes things all different. And people want to be included, but we'll talk about that as we go further. Props and visual aids. What kind of a prop would be good for a speaker? Does anybody know one? Prop? It's a prop. PowerPoint is a prop. Whiteboards are props. That's all it comes down to. Some people, you could put comedy in and have props. You can use pictures in your PowerPoints that are funny for props. Whatever you want to use, whatever fits you as a person, those are the kind of props you would put in. PowerPoint, being that we're on PowerPoint, somebody mentioned PowerPoint as a tool. Now, PowerPoint is a tool. One thing I want to tell you about, it is not your presentation. PowerPoint is not your presentation. What it is here for is to enhance your presentation. So when we talk about public speaking, you are the presentation. You are the presentation. This enhances your presentation. So literally, when it comes down to it, we can shut it off and the show must go on. So when you think about it, if it's not there, you don't know what's going on. It's up to me now. And people have technical difficulties. I don't know if you've ever worked with a computer and a PowerPoint show up and there's no tech guy and you can't get your stuff going. It better be here and you better be able to deliver it because this is just a part of it. So think about this when it comes to public speaking. I'm going to teach you a couple of different things that my mentors taught me, that probably the two top things that I ever learned. The first one was, I was always nervous about giving a speech. Is anybody here nervous about giving a speech? Like you would avoid it like anything, right? A speech. I don't want to give a speech. There's no way I'm going to give a speech. This is what goes through your head. As everybody in TAB calls it, the head trash. I like to call it stinking thinking. Sandler, head trash. I get it. I know the whole thing. So we all think, I'm a stinking thinking kind of guy. It's the stinking thinking. I don't want to give a speech. I don't want to give a speech. Then you'll never be able to give one. So really we have to think about this. My friend said to me, why are you so nervous about giving a speech? I noticed you can talk to anybody. So why don't you just go out and give a talk? Changed my world. Changed my world. So now I don't have to go out and give a speech. It might be a 45-minute speech, but I call it a 45-minute talk. I'm going to go out and talk to people for 45 minutes. I can do that. As a matter of fact, I can probably do it a lot longer than that. So really, when it comes down to it, because I like people and I like to talk, so it's a perfect fit. It works out great. The second thing I learned about public speaking, these three things, if you could, if you have a pen, please write these down. To me, they were the most important thing that ever happened in my speaking career, and I'd like to share them with you today. When people get into public speaking, and they start to feel like they want to be a public speaker, the first thing that happens is it's all about them. Hey, look at me. Wow, yeah, okay. I'm going to go out. I got this speech. I can't wait to do it. How do I look? What am I going to sound like? What am I going to feel like? What are they going to think about me? Me, I. It's all about me. That's the first step of public speaking. That's how it happens. It's natural. But as you start to grow as a speaker, what happens? Things start to come into your life. Things start to go on. So part two that you start to think is the most important thing is, wow, I've got this great content, man. You got to hear my content. This stuff is so good. Not only am I so good, but now look at my content. My content is awesome. Wait till you hear my content. So really, what are you thinking? You're hearing I and me, right? So when you really grow as a public speaker, the last thing you really have to remember, part three, is it is always and always will be about your audience. Always. So when you're giving a talk, make sure that your content that you might think is the greatest and the most exciting stuff fits your audience. It's about your audience. It's not about you. And we'll share about that a little bit with the words and the verbal verbiage that we use going forward. So nonverbal skills. You don't have to say a thing to make an impression on your audience. Now, a couple of nonverbal skills that could possibly come into play. What you wear. What you wear could be very important to where you're going. So when you think about it, what you wear, you're like, all right, I present, I wear a suit. Everywhere I go, I present, I wear a suit. Because what's the worst thing that could happen? And I just did this the other day. Day one, I wore a suit. I noticed the environment I was in. Day two, I took my tie off. It was allowed, it was comfortable. Everybody was without a tie. Most of the people there didn't even have a jacket. So now I'm going to fit in with where I am. But I come dressed first. Worst comes to worst, I can take the tie off, fit in. And even if it gets a little later on, you can take your jacket off. But always come in expecting that you should be dressed. Men, jacket, tie. Women, business suit. You're going in business. Shine. Let them see what you look like. Let them see what you're doing. You know, actually walk into the room, and we'll talk about this. Walk into the room and own the room. It is the greatest thing you can do in anything you're doing. A sales pitch, whatever it might be. Own the room. When I speak, I want everybody's eyes on me. I want to own the room. Distractions go on. I don't care. I still want everything up here. This is important. This is what we have to do. So own the room. What you wear. How you groom. Guys, shave, comb your hair, Make sure you get up on time, that you're fresh, and you can get going in there looking like $1 million. It's important. You got to make an impression. You got to make an impression on people. So this is a big part of public speaking, your appearance. Nonverbal skills, things that you could do before you even open up your mouth. You make an impression on people before you even start to speak. And your level of appropriateness. So literally, like I was saying, when I went in, I had the tie on and everything. And then I looked and I realized everybody was a little more relaxed atmosphere. And I could bring myself down in my dress to a little bit of a less stress atmosphere.